Chapter 664, Confirming the Boundary. 11:58. Lumien's gaze fixated on the golden pocket watch, his suspicions heightened by the peculiar scent in the air. He felt as though he had slumbered for more than an hour. Why then had only 7 minutes elapsed? Though the unreliability of his instincts were plausible, other anomalies lurked. The absence of mosquito corpses and the eerie silence hinted at peculiarities. Lumien, drawing from his past encounters, murmured to himself, "Could it be that I've entered a special dream?" In the dead of night, slumbering within this tawny house leads to a peculiar dream. Did Hisoka, Twanaku rebuild the house to make it look less suspicious for him to stay there? But why would such a thing happen? Lumien bowed his head and peered ahead. His gaze seemed to penetrate through wooden planks and various obstacles, revealing the corresponding underground area. Uncertain about the origin of this anomaly, he could only speculate based on common sense and experience. In the silent darkness, Lumien shuffled his feet, producing creaking sounds as he left the house that once belonged to Hisoka Twanaku. The street lay deserted, and many of the livestock on the ground floor of the buildings seemed to blend into the night. It was impossible to discern if they still existed. The footsteps of patrolling soldiers had vanished completely. A warm, humid night breeze swept through the unobstructed streets, surrounding Lumien as he headed towards the entrance of the giant Boa bar. Straining his ears, Lumien noticed that it was so quiet that even the rustling of insects and the buzzing of mosquitoes had ceased. His expression remained unchanged as he extended his right hand, pushing open the heavy wooden door. Darkness shrouded the interior. With the dim moonlight filtering through the window and Lumien's sharp eyesight as a hunter, he could barely discern the outlines of the bar counter, liquor cabinet, small round table, chairs, candlestick wall lamps, and other items, but not a single human was in sight. The bar seemed to have been closed for quite some time. This is even more perplexing. Before I fell asleep, this bar was quite lively. It's impossible for them to clear out the customers and clean every corner in 7 to 8 minutes. Based on my experience, even though countryside bars close earlier than those in the city and aren't bustling until 2 or 3 in the morning, they usually continue selling alcohol until midnight. Also, they usually ask those who are still drinking to leave after they're done. If they encounter a drunk who refuses to leave, it tends to cause some delay. Lumien, a regular at Cordu's All Tavern, felt confident in making such judgments, drawing from his various experiences in different bars. This conviction only strengthened his belief that he was caught in what seemed to be a very real dream. Suddenly, memories of past events in Cordu flooded Lumien's mind, causing his grip on the heavy wooden door of the giant Boa bar to freeze. After a moment of contemplation, he decided to leave and headed back to the Briu Motel. Walking through the dark stairs and a corridor paved with aged planks, Lumien returned to his suite on the second floor at a moderate pace. He pushed open the wooden door to the child's room. The dim crimson moonlight poured into the room, illuminating the sky-blue patterned blanket and bedsheets. But no one was sleeping here. Ludwig had disappeared too. Combined with the strange sights on his way, Lumien strongly suspected that he was alone in this dream. All the townsfolk, livestock, and outsiders had vanished, leaving him in solitude in Tizimo town. This can't be considered a festival unless it is named the Loneliness Festival. Lumien pondered for a few seconds before leaving the Briu Motel and heading towards the Saint-Cyne Cathedral near the cemetery. In the dim moonlit night, the cathedral's golden dome and various decorations on the outer walls seemed to lose their glow, settling into a deep slumber. Lumien didn't want to waste energy pushing open the front door. He pried open a stained glass window and jumped in. In the night's darkness, the place was silent and empty. The dome above exuded an oppressive and cold aura that was absent during the day. Lumien searched the area but couldn't find Padre Kali, who had exhibited abnormalities, the deputy padre, or any odd-job workers. I'm truly alone. Only those who sleep in Hisoka's house can enter this special dream. Yes, and it has to be late at night. How can the dream festival be held? One can't expect all the relevant people to line up at Hisoka's house to sleep at a specific time, right? Disregarding the question of whether we can squeeze in, How did such a widespread collective act deceive the patrol team and the army outside the town? Moreover, it doesn't seem like everyone has been pulled into the dream. The Tizimans I previously found were completely unaware. And the most crucial question, since it's a dream, why am I lucid? Lumion contemplated for a moment before reaching out his right hand to touch the wall adorned with the religious mural. It felt cold and solid, a genuine stone. Drawing on his extensive experience in realistic dreams, Lumion pushed aside these questions, opting to begin with the simplest reconnaissance. He aimed to confirm the dimensions of this dream and its boundaries. Activating the black mark on his right shoulder, Lumion connected with the spirit world. He saw every corner of Tizimo town. Through spirit world traversal, he disappeared and reappeared on the packed earth path leading from Tizimo town to Port Pylos. Teleportation is possible, that's true. Since it's a dream, nothing is impossible. As long as I believe it's feasible, I should be able to do it. Following the Cordu incident, Lumion delved into numerous dream-related books and sought counsel from Madame Justice, Madame Susie, Anthony Reed, and other beyonders in the mind domain, gaining a profound understanding. Slowing his pace, he headed towards Port Pylos. After walking for 200 to 300 meters, the scenery ahead blurred as if an ethereal fog was swirling. Beneath the faint moonlight, the fog appeared pitch black. Suddenly, Lumion's spiritual intuition warned him that entering the misty area, veiled in an illusionary fog, might be perilous. There was a high likelihood that something terrifying would occur. There are indeed limitations. I can't directly reach the edge of the mind. Lumion decided against taking the risk. He swiftly returned to Tizimo and began searching for the other boundary. This was the area near the primitive forest. After covering a distance of 300 to 400 meters, Lumion reached the forest's edge. Rainforest-like vegetation stood silently in the night, resembling dense tombstones. Noticing no blurry areas veiled in illusory fog, Lumion proceeded cautiously and decisively. Passing through drooping vines and trees, he delved deeper into the primitive forest, walking on the thick, humus-covered ground. Along the way, there were no dancing mosquitoes or venomous creatures concealed among the vegetation. After another 700 to 800 meters, Lumion sensed his surroundings becoming more psychedelic. Some areas became blurry, others distorted, and some became clearer. However, upon closer inspection, they couldn't be seen distinctly. The conditions in these areas continued to fluctuate. This feels more like a typical dream with no warning from his spirituality. Lumion took a few more steps forward. Suddenly, the entire world shattered into scenes that interweaved and materialized around him. Lumion's lucidity wavered, leaving him slightly disoriented. In the next moment, he witnessed scenes of black boulders and humans in dark robes. One of the humans raised his head, revealing a pale white face with a light brown base, flaxen-colored eyes tinged with dark green, and decent facial features. Hisoka Tuanaku. He was Hisoka Tuanaku. The human in the dark robe, embodying Hisoka Tuanaku's visage, straightened up. His gaze seemed to transcend various scenes and fixate on Lumion. Amidst the illusory sound, the scenes around Lumion shattered. Lumion sat up and found himself back in the tawny building that Hisoka Tuanaku had rebuilt. He was in the dark room with the simple wooden bed. Quickly surveying his surroundings, Lumion retrieved a golden pocket watch from the left breast pocket of his shirt. Clicking it open, he checked the time. 1:38 a.m. The crimson moonlight outside the window wasn't too bright, but it wasn't dim either. The nearby giant boa bar had already closed, yet the howl of a wild beast echoed from the distant primitive forest. The night was silent, but not deathly still. I'm awake, that's more like it. I slept for an hour or more than 40 minutes, quite close to my estimation. Lumion got out of bed and observed the ground. As expected, he saw charred mosquito corpses and numerous insects lingering outside the window, blocked by the smell of tranquil essential oil. Phew, he breathed a sigh of relief and contemplated the appearance of Hisoka Tuanaku in the special dream. Since it's a festival, Dream Festival shouldn't be held just once. That's what a party is. Could Hisoka have participated in many dream festivals in the past few years and left some kind of mark in the dream? Is Dream Festival indeed related to that primitive tribe? That's why I activated certain imprints and images recorded in the dream after venturing deep into the forest. That's how I saw Hisoka. What purpose does Hisoka intend to achieve with the Dream Festival? Dream Festival, Dream Festival. Since it's a festival, it must be held on a fixed date. At other times, if I enter a special dream, I won't encounter anything, just like me tonight. What date could it be? Lumion fell into deep thought. He quickly deduced a direction. On December 17th of last year, the primitive tribe attacked Tizimo town, causing numerous casualties. Lumion perked up and swiftly confirmed today's date. Dream Festival happens on December 17th, or 2 or 3 days before it, which is when April Fools played their prank here. It was past 1 a.m. on December 11th,